Hello. Today we're going to talk about verbal phrases. As a review of terms, we know that a phrase is a group of words. The term verbal might be new to you, but verbal just means resembling a verb. Basically, this is just a different form of the verb. Okay, so what we're talking about is a verb form. So these are aspects of verbs that aren't necessarily verbs anymore once they change their form. So if we look at verbal phrase, we're going to define a verbal phrase as a group of words based upon a form of a verb. And in spirit of when this is recorded, we're going to do it with the help of our turkey friends. Okay, let's review. You learned about participial phrases last year. Okay. Remember, a participle is the form of a verb that has the ing or the ed. Okay. And we know they act as adjectives. So a participle acts as an adjective. Okay. We can use it as an introductory element, right? Coming together for a week-long feast. Right? So we have our participle phrase here. The pilgrims celebrated their survival of harsh conditions in a new world. And this phrase describes what the pilgrims are doing. That makes it an adjective, because adjectives describe nouns. We also know they can act as a parenthetical, meaning they can interrupt the sentence. The pilgrims, comma, learning about the new environment, comma, started to gain a better understanding of how to survive. Okay. And notice again, when we have participial phrases, we do need a comma. There's one in the first one after. This one's an interrupter. So it goes in before and after. And then when they close the sentence out, the feast did not include turkey, but venison acting as a primary meat. Okay. This is that participial phrase attached to describing venison, and we see there is a comma before it, okay, before the phrase. A different form of a verb is a gerund. Okay, a gerund is like a participle because it has an ing. Okay, so it's the same, almost the same form as a participle. They both have the ings. What's different about the gerund is it acts as a noun. Okay, so it can do what nouns do. It can act as the subject of a sentence. Cooking the turkey has become my job every year. Here's what we have. This is a gerund phrase. Okay, a gerund phrase consists of the gerund noun, or gerund verb, the gerund verb and its modifiers. Okay. It also then becomes the subject because cooking has become, right? And that is the verb or a sentence. So this gerund phrase makes the subject of the sentence. Nouns can also be used as objects in a sentence, right? You should remember objects from your prepositional phrases last year. Okay. So the aroma, and here we have a preposition from, baking pies, we see that as a gerund object, right? It's making the object of the preposition, but it's the ing form of the verb. Okay. So the aroma from baking pies fills the house. Now notice, when we have a gerund phrase, there is no comma. And lastly, let's talk about the infinitive phrase. Okay. The infinitive phrase consists of an unconjugated verb, meaning it has no tense, and its modifiers. Right? That's simply the to form of a verb. So to run is the infinitive form. It's unconjugated. Okay. Infinitive phrases can act as an adverb. Thanksgiving should be used to think about the positives in one's life. Okay. See how my infinitive phrase here, to think about the positives in one's life, is modifying the verb used. Okay, so because it describes the verb, or telling us when, or how, right, this one's a how, that makes it the adverb. Okay. An infinitive phrase can also act as an adjective. Okay. It can describe a noun. So although many people celebrated, Abraham Lincoln was the first president to enact, is an infinitive, a national holiday for Thanksgiving. Okay, so my whole infinitive phrase is what follows the verb, and this is describing president. Okay, so that's why it's an adjective. Now, they can also act as the subject of a sentence. To start the winter holiday countdown has now become the purpose of Thanksgiving. Okay. The infinitive phrase, to start the winter holiday countdown, acts as the subject of the sentence, describing with its verb what Thanksgiving has become. I hope you've learned a little bit more about phrases today and other types of phrases that we don't normally talk about, especially the gerund and the infinitive. If you'd like a little more guidance on this, you can consult page 552.1 in your writer's ink. On that page, you'll find a whole list of other types of phrases. Some might be reviewed, some will be new to look at later at a different time.